I'm delighted on behalf of RescueTheGulf.org to be able to bring you some good news in a week that has been dominated by news of oil coming on the beaches, tar balls being buried in the sand, workers working 24/7 to try to clean up a messy beach, a beach that is dirty only minutes after the workers pass by and clean up what is currently at the beach. And maybe frustration at times with the government response, maybe frustration at times obviously with BP. For us to end the week with just a delightful picture of an enormous pod of dolphin. It would be difficult to give you an accurate count of how many dolphin were in this pod. If not impossible, we could predict that it was 20 plus or 30 plus. At times we saw 6 dolphin abreast, all surfacing at the same time, and yet a couple of 100 yards away we'd see 6 more also surfacing abreast, just out in front of the ones that were directly in front of us. And so what happened is we were working today up and down through the using the Intercoastal Canal as a means to navigate between the Perdido Pass area and Mobile Bay. And we began the day down in Perdido Pass, and as we came into Mobile Bay this evening at about 6 o'clock, around 6 or 6:30, we encountered a single solitary dolphin who came up to us and was sort of nose on looking at us, taking a quick peek, and then he disappeared under the water. But knowing the dolphins are not solitary animals, we said the pods of dolphin can't be too far away, and so we kind of set out trying to look for them, maybe thinking we might find 4 or 5 other dolphin. And so you can imagine how remarkable and how amazed we were to find this enormous pod of dolphin that stretched out for at times a quarter mile or further from one end to the other. You know, we're showing you the shots that we've got of the dolphin that are reasonably close to us, but there were times when they were hundreds of yards away from us, and we could see the puffs as we were looking into the sun. Of course, the spray, when they come up from the blowhole, we were able to detect them many hundreds of yards away. So this encounter this evening highlighted for us why we were out there working. Obviously, we care about all of the marine life, but I think people have a certain kinship to the dolphin and the large mammals that inhabit the ocean. Their intelligence and their curiosity reminds us so much of ourselves that we have a special kinship with them. So it was a real delight to see that the dolphin were thriving despite the oil spill, and it sort of reminded us not only that's what we're out there, this is the kind of information that we're trying to bring you, firsthand observations of what we're seeing on the ground, not relying on the news media, who obviously are going to be a little bit biased just by their very nature in getting ratings and getting you to pay attention and tune in. But it reminded us that despite this oil spill, that this Gulf of Mexico will recover. Marine animals will die. Marine mammals will die. Many of them will be in areas that will be heavily distressed. Even though we have oil in Mobile Bay, there is some oil in Mobile Bay. That's what there were boats. We also encountered a whole line of boats that were obviously working the oil spill today as they were coming in. And so we did have some oil in Mobile Bay, and we actually encountered even some areas where we had that oil-stained foam even as we were heading to try to find these dolphin. But the minute a drop of oil gets into an area, it doesn't totally annihilate the marine habitat there. It takes certain concentrations of the oil. And I don't mean to minimize the magnitude of this oil spill, but the Gulf of Mexico is also an enormous body of water, and it can absorb even a very large oil spill. Notwithstanding the need to clean it up, it will not destroy all of our marine habitats. And so even despite we have some oil here in Mobile Bay from the Gulf of Mexico, we have this thriving pod of dolphin who seem to be relatively indifferent to it and seem to be doing very well. So it was a very, very positive sign to end the week on. In a week that was dominated by tar balls on the beach, oil coming ashore, workers working 24/7 both offshore and on the beaches to try to clean up this oily mess. And yet on Friday, June the 25th at 6:30, we were greeted with this giant pod of dolphin in Mobile Bay, just off the shore in Bon Secours, in an encounter that one of our crew members described as amazing. So I'm going to finish this up with about 30 seconds of silence where you can listen to the waves and also enjoy a little bit, listen closely to the dolphins communicating to one another.
Here on this Friday,